Welcome back to yet another video from Power Director Made Simple. This is a continuation from part 1, except in this tutorial we'll explore how to create and use SRT files. In the previous part 1 video, we took a look at how the speech-to-text tool could create subtitles for your video. But what we did in part 1 was to create a video in which the display of the subtitles was not an option, but automatically appeared whether the viewer wanted to see them or not. As promised in part 1, I'm going to show you how to make the subtitles an option for the viewer. Just as in part 1, you DaVinci users pay attention because the editing and merging of subtitle blocks may be somewhat problematic for you, while the creation of SRT files is well within your grasp. This time, I'll use the same method that any of you would use using your own video. On my timeline is a 1-minute section from my previous video about magic cuts. I'm going to use that to create some subtitles, but I'll do it through a SRT file. There are two methods of starting the process. I could click on Subtitles at the top and then choose AI Speech to Text. While I'm there, I'd like to point out the other options about creating subtitles. Manually, which is very laborious and cumbersome, or the other option, to import from an existing SRT or text file. I want to show you the other easy method of invoking the AI feature. I'll close this window just by clicking on Media at the top. Then I'll right-click on the clip on the timeline and select AI Speech to Text down near the bottom. I have only audio track 1 that I need to be concerned about, and my audio language is in English. Contrary to what some other tutorials try to teach, the speech to text feature cannot create subtitles in another language, but it does support understanding the existing audio in several, make that 7 other languages. If I'm ready to accept these default choices and the cost of 1 credit for the 51 seconds of video, then I'll click on the blue Create button. Within a few seconds, the subtitles are done and now appear on the timeline in the new subtitle track at the top. If you look towards the timeline, notice the gap in between subtitles, which more or less coincides with the pause in speaking. I'll click on the X on the yellow range flags on the right side to turn that off. Also notice the large text window that opened, which displays the entire speech with time codes. Looking at the text window, blocks number 2 and 3 seem so short and only display on screen momentarily, so I'll do some editing and combine them. I'll click on one box, and then holding down the Control key, I'll click on the other to select both boxes. I'll then click on the icon above to merge those two subtitles. Now when I play the timeline, both appear on the screen at the same time. I'll make one other change by clicking on the T, which will allow me to change some of the font characteristics. I'll click on the font color, and I'm going to change it to a red color. Then I'm going to click on Apply to All. Now there are some other minor problems with the grammar of the text, but let's assume that I accept it in its current form. I can click on the 3 dots, choose Export as a SRT file, and then I get 2 choices, either with formatting or without formatting. I'm going to create one of each just to see how they look different. For now, I'll select to export without the additional style information, and I'll use the file name of without.srt. I'll go back and export once again, but this time with the additional style information, and I'll name the file with.srt. Here is a screenshot of the two different SRT files side by side. As you can see, the only differences are the font size and color information. Each of these SRT files can be opened and viewed using Notepad. I'll close out those images and return back to PowerDirector. I am actually done with the speech-to-text tool this time. I will not be exporting to create a new video that has permanent subtitles like I did in the previous video, part 1. To exit the speech-to-text window, I just click on Media at the top. So far, all I've really done was to create a SRT file for this video on my timeline. But here is where it can become a useful tool because we were able to edit the words, spelling, and punctuation in PowerDirector. All of the subtitles will appear looking polished and professional. I'm going to show you one problem with SRT files and the standard Windows Media Player program in Windows 11, and presumably in Windows 10 as well. I'll open Windows File Explorer to view my project folder, where I'll double-click the MP4 file, which will open my default player of Windows Media Player. The file plays without any problem and has no subtitles showing just yet. I can click on the icon for subtitles on the lower right of Media Player and select Choose a Subtitle File. I'll first select the one without the special formatting called without.srt. And when finished, the new clip immediately starts to play, that this might not be a valid subtitle file. So next, I'll try to open the with.srt file. Once again, Microsoft claims it might not be a valid file. I'm going to close out Media Player. I know that there are people out there jumping up and down right now saying that if I were to rename the SRT to the same as the video file, then it would work. I've already tried that ahead of time, and it still doesn't work. Don't ask me why, ask Microsoft. Next, I'm going to right-click on the MP4 file and select Open With. This time, I'll try the VLC player. And when finished, the new clip immediately starts to play, and I can hear a... Now, immediately, you can see that there are no subtitles, so I'm going to pause VLC. At the top, there is a menu item called Subtitle. I'll click on that and then choose Add Subtitle File. I'll click on Without SRT and then click on Open. I'll hit Play. Problem that was created. Every time there is a cut with a transition, because the added subtitles have no formatting information, they appear based on the default subtitle parameters within VLC. I'll pause VLC and try the same thing again, except I'll load the with SRT file. I'll hit play again. Original audio momentarily fades out. Apparently, whenever a transition is applied to Magic Touch, this time the subtitles still appear, but in the red-colored font that I specified in this SRT file. I'll close out VLC. One final test. What happens if the SRT file has the same exact name as the video file? Will it automatically load in VLC? I'll rename the with.srt to magiccuts.srt to match the actual MP4 file. Will I have to manually load the SRT file, or will it automatically run? I'll start the MP4 using VLC once again. And when finished, the new clip immediately starts to play, and I can hear a problem that was created. Well, there's your answer. Yes, the same named SRT file automatically loads and is enabled in VLC. If the viewer does not want to see subtitles, Then they can go up to the subtitle menu and turn them off, which is a way most video viewers will allow. Now, you should see the big difference between using the speech-to-text tool to generate a new video with the subtitles hard-coded into the video, as was done in Part 1, and the use of an SRT file that gives the viewers a choice to see them or not. I'll close out VLC once again. So, what about videos that are uploaded to YouTube? YouTube will automatically generate their own subtitles, but they are notorious for misspellings and grammatical mistakes. Here is a screenshot of YouTube's auto-generated subtitles for my video number 106, just some random tips. Notice the total lack of punctuation and capitalization. Also, note the misspelling of the word version, which is strange because they got it right just 3 words before that. And remember, this is exactly what the viewer would see when they watch the video: mistakes, misspellings, and poor grammar. Here is a screenshot of my latest video, number 107, Magic Cuts, for which I created a SRT file in PowerDirector and uploaded that SRT file to YouTube. Now, right away, you should notice proper capitalization and punctuation, which is what the viewer would see if they would click on the closed caption button in YouTube. YouTube follows the industry standard for subtitle files with 2 conditions. According to this web page on YouTube, you must use the SRT file without additional subrip information, and the SRT file must have the same name as the video file. Give it a try on YouTube by creating just a very short video with some speech in the audio. Create your SRT file in PowerDirector, and when you upload the video, look for the section where YouTube asks about subtitles. Click the option to use your own SRT. Try it. You will like the results, and it will make your channel look much more professional. Now, one final observation. The SRT files created in PowerDirector work perfectly in VLC and YouTube, but Microsoft says they might not be valid. I wonder who we should believe. Well, once again, and as always, I thank you for watching. Please hit that like button and click on that big subscribe button with the bell. I'll see you next time.